At a time when senior women civil servants were few and far between, Dr. Sally Kosgei not only reached the high glass ceiling, but also shattered it to become an internationally respected diplomat and later on a politician as well as a member of the cabinet. This week on the cabinet, we focus on Dr. Sally Kosgei, who first served in the regime of President Daniel Moi and later on that of President Mwai Emilio Kibaki.
Dr. Sally Kosgei was the second woman to become a permanent secretary in 1991 after Margaret Githinji, who was PS in the Ministry of Commerce. President Daniel Arap Moi trusted her with some of the most difficult tasks of his 24-year tenure. Beneath her quiet and media-shy demeanor was a skillful schemer, so good at behind-the-scenes mechanization that she was able to survive in a field crowded with men. Her reputation preceded her in Kenya and in global diplomatic circles. Many Kenyans remember her weeping outside State House, Nairobi in 2002 as President Moi was airlifted to his Kabarak home after handing over the reins of power to his successor, Mwai Kibaki. It was a solemn moment. Kosgei was born in Aldai, Nandi district in 1949. She attended Alda Primary School before joining Alliance Girls High School for both her O and A levels. After high school, she went to Dar es Salaam University, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Education. She taught briefly at Nakuru High School and the University of Nairobi before she won a scholarship to pursue Masters of Arts and PhD degrees in History and Political Science at Stanford University in California in the United States. Between 1978 and 1981, she taught at the University of Nairobi's Department of History and Archaeology. In 1981, she joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as the first Secretary of UN Habitat. She then held the position of Senior Assistant Secretary Africa and Organization of Africa Unity, OAU, Acting Head, Africa and OAU Division at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In 1984, Kosgei became Kenya's High Commissioner to Zimbabwe. She was transferred in the same capacity to the United Kingdom as well as Ireland and Switzerland in 1986 and held the position until 1992. She represented Nairobi in London during a time of strong political headwinds, with the clamor for multi-party politics growing. President Moi and other African leaders suddenly found themselves out of favor with their foreign allies as the Cold War ended. President Moi was facing a legitimacy crisis as there was increased suppression of free speech and many opposition leaders were being jailed. Notably, the February 1990 killing of Dr. Robert Ouko, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, and the ethnic clashes of 1992 were some of the issues that Kosgei had to grapple with during her time in London and during her formative days as PS for Foreign Affairs under the Cabinet Minister Ndolo Ayao. Kosgei vigorously defended Kenya and at one point issued a rebuttal to the British media on its coverage of the unraveling events in Kenya in the late 1980s and early 1990s. As for breaking through the proverbial glass ceiling, she was a diplomat at a time when nearly all the 150 Kenyan foreign missions were headed by men. In December 1991, Kosgei was appointed Permanent Secretary for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation and was sent to restore Kenya's image abroad following the ethnic clashes in Rift Valley province. She was transferred to the Ministry of Finance in 1997. In 2001, she replaced Dr. Richard Leakey as head of civil service and secretary to the cabinet. She remained the civil service boss until President Moi left office. In 2007, when Uhuru Kenyatta joined the opposition, Kosgei abandoned KANU and joined the Orange Democratic Movement Party under the tutelage of William Ruto. Then a principal in ODM in the Rift Valley region, She ran for the Aldai constituency seat and won. When the election results were released declaring Kibaki the president, her constituency was one of the most affected during the violent clashes that ensued. During the Kofi Annan-led reconciliation negotiations in Nairobi, ODM used Kosgei's consummate skills in reaching an agreement for Grand Coalition government, the Government of National Unity, headed by Kibaki as president with Odinga as prime minister. She was later rewarded with a ministerial post heading the Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Technology. The coalition government created the new ministry, carving it out of the mainstream Ministry of Education. The new ministry's role would help to pass biotechnology bill and establish at least 4 technical universities. In 2010, Kosgei traded places with Ruto, becoming Minister for Agriculture in a reshuffle of the coalition government. Here, Kosgei helped distribute 490 metric tons of drought-tolerant seeds worth 78.8 million shillings that had been donated by the German government. The seeds were used in Ukambani region during the short rains of 2011. At the time, drought and famine were ravaging parts of the country. In the 2013 general election, she lost her seat to Colonel Sarem and was appointed Chancellor of Taita Taveta University in 2016. Kosgei has maintained a low profile from the public eye since she lost her parliamentary seat in 2013.